Welcome back. So we've got a relatively busy Saturday night in the National Hockey League. And I've got one trap magnet on the board, and I'm kind of thinking about a second one. And I'm not sure if the second one qualifies, and I'll say why. I don't know that the Islanders right now should be seen as a trap team. They're legit playing well. But I'll put the trap magnet there. It does not necessarily mean that the underdog is going to win. It just means the game could be a lot closer than we might expect, right? So starting off at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, the reason I'm recording this at night, is the morning game between Philadelphia and Buffalo. What did I do to deserve that? I get 2 hours of just Philadelphia and Buffalo. Philadelphia is 13, 19, and 8. Over their last 10, they're 0-7 and 3. They lost their last game in regulation. Away from home, they're 7, 10, and 4. They have a points percentage of .425. On the other side of things, Buffalo 12, 21, and 7. Their last 10, they're 2, 6, and 2. They lost their last game. At home, they're 6, 12, and 3. They have a points percentage of .388. So that's the thing. And this is the first of 3 meetings. They'll meet again on April 16th and April 17th. That's where you get back-to-back meetings between them with less than 2 weeks left in the season. We'll see what lottery spots on the line for that. Then at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, the Winnipeg Jets are against the Boston Bruins. Winnipeg 17, 13, and 6. Over their last 10, they're 4, 4, and 2. They lost their last game. A lot of games in hand that they've had, and their record just isn't helping them out. Their away record isn't either. They're 7, 7, and 5. Their points percentage is .556, which is better than the points percentage of the team that currently holds the second wildcard spot, but it is not the best of the teams that are currently below the playoff line. So for Boston, they're 23, 12, and 2. Over their last 10, they're 8 and 2. They did win their last game over Washington. At home, they're 13, 7, and 1, .649 points percentage. Noteworthy, no Marchand tomorrow. We'll see how Boston's attack is affected. The next meeting between these teams will be in Winnipeg on March 18th. Then we get to the 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific start time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games starting then. Starting with Carolina and New Jersey. Carolina's coming off of a huge emotional victory over the New York Rangers. Would not be surprised if they're a little slow out of the gate against New Jersey. The Carolina Hurricanes now 27, 8, and 2 overall. Over their last 10, they're 8, 1, and 1. They've won 3 in a row. Away from home, they're 14, 4, and 1. Their points percentage is now .757, which is ridiculous. New Jersey 14, 19, and 5. Their last 10 games, they're 4 and 6. They've lost 3 in a row. At home, they're 9, 8, and 3. Their points percentage, .434. This is the first of 4 meetings. So Carolina gets to meet them again on January 29th, April 23rd, and April 28th. So that's 2 games towards the end of the season for Carolina against New Jersey. That could decide first place in the East, potentially. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific start time between Arizona and the Rangers. December 15th, these teams met in Arizona. The Rangers won that game 3-2. Arizona 10, 25, and 4 now on the season. Over their last 10, they're 4, 4, and 2. They lost tonight against the New York Islanders. Away from home, they're 5, 12, and 3. Their overall points percentage is .308. On the New York Rangers side, 26, 11, and 4. Over their last 10, they're 7, 7, and 3. They did lose tonight against Carolina, and this could be an ugly one. This really could be. I think Arizona could get blown out like 6-1 in this one. Rangers are going to be mad after tonight's result. So at home, the Rangers are 11, 3, and 2. Their points percentage is .683. So still a very solid points percentage for the New York Rangers. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Ottawa and the Washington Capitals. Washington won this matchup 7-3 on October 25th. The last meeting between these teams will be on February 13th, so it's during what was going to be the Olympic break. Ottawa's 11, 20, and 2 overall. Over their last 10, they're 4, 5, and 1. They've lost 2 in a row. Away from home, they're 6, 10, and 2. Their points percentage, .364. So they need to work on that. The Washington Capitals, 22, 10, and 9. So they've won 22 out of 41. But over their last 10, they're 4, 4, and 2. They lost their last game against Boston. At home, they're 11, 5, and 5. Their points percentage is .646. So again, this illustrates how those overtime and shootout loss points, if you get the game into extra time and lose then, you're still going to have a very good points percentage, which keeps Washington likely in the playoffs this year. But I'm saying likely because there is a team that's starting to put it together. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Montreal Canadiens, who are not that team in the East putting it together, but they've had a decent road trip, in against Colorado. Montreal, and I thought about making this one a trap as well. 8:25, and I don't have the other Akbar magnet. I've got a bunch of Akbar magnets, so I could have put one up there, but I didn't. 8:25 and 6 now for Montreal over their last 10. They're 2-5 and 3. They lost in overtime in Vegas, but they kept it competitive. Away from home, they're now 3-15 and 5. Their points percentage, a league worst 282. So they are 26 points below the Arizona Coyotes at this point. And I don't mean like 26 actual points. I mean 26 percentage points below on their points percentage. The ridiculous record of the Colorado Avalanche, 27-8-3 over their last 10. They're 9-0-1. They've won 5 in a row. At home, they're 16-2-1. They've got a 750 points percentage. They've been ridiculously good. So we'll see how things turn out. But again, this seems like the ultimate. Would not be surprised to see Montreal beat Colorado just because of how records work. So 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific start time between Toronto and the Islanders. And I kind of like the Islanders in this one just because how the Islanders have been playing. Toronto won this meeting 3-0 on November 21st. They meet again on April 17th. Toronto is 24-10-3 over their last 10. They're 6-3-1. They lost their last game. The defense, being able to keep leads is really hurting them. Away from home, they're 10-6-2. Their points percentage is still a very solid 689 overall. The New York Islanders getting it together. They're 14-13-6. Yes, above 500 for the first time this season. Last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. They've won 3 in a row. At home, they're 7-6-3. They have a 515 points percentage. So the odds of them making the playoffs are still quite long, but they have a lot of games to go. And if they can beat Toronto tomorrow night, they have to get on a really hot streak from here. And the good news is 7-2-1 in their last 10. That's the kind of record they have to keep getting, and they have to hope that the Capitals stay cold or maybe the Bruins cool off, that kind of thing. Then we jump ahead to 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. The Detroit Red Wings in against Nashville Predators. December 7th, Nashville won this meeting 5-2 in Detroit. Detroit's 18-17-6 with the overtime loss tonight. They're 3-4-3 in their last 10, and of course, their most recent game was a loss against Dallas in overtime. Away from home, they're 5-11-3. Their points percentage, 512 on the season. So they're still lingering around the 500 mark, but points percentage-wise, they're a little bit below the Islanders because the Islanders have played fewer games. The Nashville Predators, 25-14-3 overall. Over their last 10, they're 6-3-1. They did win their last game against Winnipeg. At home, they're 12-7. Their points percentage, very respectable, 631. So Nashville trying to stay in the mix for a first-place run, potentially, although Minnesota's in there, St. Louis is in there. It's a four-way race for that first spot. 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific, the Minnesota Wild get to play the Chicago Blackhawks for the second time in 2 days. Chicago's going to look for a bounce back. They're 15-19-6 with the loss tonight. Over their last 10, they're 4-4-2. They did lose tonight, which broke the winning streak that I think was at 1. Away from home, they're 7-11-3. Their points percentage is 450. So for Chicago, it's pride time. The Minnesota Wild, 23-10-3 overall. Their last 10, they're 4-4-2 as well. Their last game was a win over Chicago. At home, they're 12-3-1. Their points percentage, 681. So with the 5-1 win for Minnesota tonight, tomorrow night's the rematch. And then from there, February 2nd and March 19th will be games 3 and 4 between these teams on the season. 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific is the start time for the Battle of Alberta. I'm wearing Edmonton because sure, why not? But I'm just going to really enjoy this game. I really am. The stage is set. They're both below the playoff line. They're both supposed to be in the playoffs. These teams really hate each other. For Calgary, they're 18-11-6. Over their last 10, they're 3-6-1. They did win their last game. Away from home, they're 13-7-2. They have a 600 points percentage. So that's pretty darn good considering San Jose's there with the 537, and that's the spot they're chasing. October 16th, these teams met. It seems like a lifetime ago. Edmonton won that game 5-2. We'll see if it means anything tomorrow. The third and fourth meetings between these teams will be on March 7th and March 26th. The Edmonton Oilers, 18-16-2. Over their last 10, they're 2-6-2. They've lost 4 in a row in regulation. I just feel like they're due a win. And not only that, but maybe on some level I'm thinking, if they beat Calgary, that'll probably save Tippett's job for a while longer, and we can continue to have the discussion. So at home, they're 10-8. Their points percentage is .528. So their points percentage has really dropped off a cliff since that 16-5 start. And yeah, it's been just a nightmare to watch. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start time for the final game of the night. Tampa Bay will be looking to bounce back from a loss against Anaheim. This time they're in against San Jose. Tampa Bay's 27-10-5 now. Over their last 10, they're 6-3-1. They did lose tonight. Away from home, they're 13-6-2. Their points percentage is still a ridiculous .702 overall. The San Jose Sharks, 21-18-2. Over their last 10, they're 5-4-1. They did lose their last game against Seattle, too. At home, they're 11-8-2. Their points percentage, as I previously stated, .537 on the season. And the next second meeting between these teams will be on February 1st. That will be in Tampa. Should be a fun one. Let me know your picks for the winners for tomorrow's games, which will be today's games at the time this gets posted, in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.